wires and everything to pull on. And so we're having fun over here in the Archer Robustelli household. All right. So good morning. So we're live over here on Facebook and LinkedIn and on Instagram. Hey, Caitlin. Today we're talking about how to charge more for your services. And part of why I'm so passionate about this is I am so passionate about helping my clients make more money. When you make more money, everyone wins. And so the amount you charge for what you do is, and this is obviously if you're an entrepreneur, it's easier to control your rates. But I think also if you're in sales, this is a really good mindset shift to have that will help you sell more confidently as well. So I think there's a couple key things. The main thing, and I did a reel about this morning. Hey, Melissa. Hey, Erin. How are you? We're talking about how to charge more for your services. So I did a reel about this morning on Instagram. So if you guys are on Facebook and LinkedIn and you're not following me on Instagram, head on over there because I'm on the mom dancing bandwagon. And yes, it's happening. And all the embarrassing dance moves are being busted out. But that's actually part of being able to charge more is getting out of your ego and just doing what works for people. So anyway, the number one thing, and this was my reel this morning, is aim to deliver 10 times the value of what you're charging, always. And as you're coming in, if you have questions, pop them in the chat too, just about how to up level the amount you're charging. Hey, Danny. Oh, I'm so glad you're here. So pop them in the chat if you have questions too, but that's the number one thing is delivering 10 times the value of what you're charging and always having that mindset. So for example, in one of my group programs right now, the women have paid either $5,000 or $10,000 to be in that program. And so my commitment and the way I always think about it is I want to make sure they're getting $100,000 worth of value from that program. And so when I come at it from that angle, I can feel good about charging a rate that makes me excited to show up and deliver my services, but that also I feel like is a steal of a deal for them. So I think there's a few things to keep in mind when it comes to, okay, how do you deliver more value? Number one is just mindset, right? Make sure your customers get more than they're paying for. Always, always, always. And that's actually a universal law as well, is just making sure that you are always delivering more than the cost value that it takes to work with you. So that's number one. How do you do that, right? I think a lot of things, but some of the things that I like to do are add in extras, right? Add in extras. So for example, with this group program, the 10K Club, my initial plan was just to have one weekly group coaching call for all the women. Well, enough women signed up that I actually felt like it would feel restrictive for all of them to get coached in 1 hour. So I split them into two groups and I'm taking another hour of my time every week to work with them, but I think it's a better value for them. Like it's going to deliver more. So my commitment to my clients is I may shift and change what we're doing together, but it will always be that I'm going to give you more than I promise, not less. So that's number one. But just think about what other extras you can do. Like that's where your social media presence is really important because you want to be thinking about delivering so much value to people who aren't your customers yet too. Like that's how you're going to get customers is by delivering so much value in your content and your free content that people are like, holy crap, like it changed my life to watch his stuff or her stuff or read their content that I can only imagine how much value I would get from working with them and from hiring them. Another way you can add more value is make connections. So think about with your clients, like who do they need to know that's in your network? That's something that I'm really big on is like opening up my, let's say Rolodex. Does anybody say Rolodex anymore? Opening up my contact list to clients and making introductions because sometimes it's just that one connection that can totally transform somebody's life. So I'm big on being very generous with introductions. And I try to think proactively about who do I know that my clients need to know. But then also just if they ask to be introduced to someone, it's like, yeah, if at all possible, I want to do that for them. So that's another way you can add more value. And then the third thing is just constantly up-leveling your skills. So, oh, hey, Becca, how are you? Oh my gosh, I haven't seen you in forever. I'm glad you're here. So constantly up-level your skills. So if you're just joining now, we're talking about how to charge more for your services. And the mindset is always deliver 10 times the value of what you're charging. Always, always, always. So one of the ways to do that, and the last way to do that I want to talk about today is up-leveling your skills. So for me, I invest at a very high level in coaching in order to be able to deliver that same quality of coaching to my clients for way less. So like I shared on social this year, the coach that I'm working with for 6 months is $50,000. And that was a big investment for me. Like that was a big stretch, but I'm learning things from that experience that I can then deliver to my clients for like a tenth of the cost. Right. And so up leveling your skills, and you don't have to do that if that doesn't work for you budget wise. It's like, think about how are you going to grow and up level personal development, reading, attending virtual conferences, but you need to be thinking about always up leveling your value so that just by the very nature of someone being in your presence, they're going to grow, right? That's another universal law, is the impression of increase, is that we are attracted to people who are expanding and growing. It's just naturally how we're wired. And so when you personally are expanding and growing and pushing your edge, there's something about that that's magnetic, that naturally attracts and draws in other people as well. So just to kind of sum up, and then if you have questions on how to charge more or anything I shared about this morning, go ahead and pop them in the chat. But delivering more value, right? The mindset is you're always delivering at least 10 times the value of what your clients are paying for. How do you do that, right? You add in extras for them, give more than what you promised in the agreement, make connections for them, facilitate introductions. And third, constantly uplevel your skills as well. That's critical. So does anyone have any questions? Who's here? I can't see you if you're joining me in Facebook or LinkedIn. I can only see you if you comment. So if you have a question, comment. And then if you've got a question over on Instagram, comment too. I'm going to fix my hair while we're doing that. I did my morning reel, you guys, and it got my hair all crazy. All right. Well, I'm going to assume you all don't have any questions, but I am so glad you're here, and send me a DM if you do have questions on any of this. Okay. All right. Y'all have an amazing Tuesday. I'm going to go get my day started, and yeah, always deliver more value than what you charge, and you will be set to charge an amount that you feel really good about for your clients. All right. Take care, guys. See you soon.